They do call him Black Jesus.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I would never call him that.
That's disgusting. If you eat,
No.
if you eat Hershey's bar for fun, you like golf balls in your mouth.
Really weird. So, I'm a really simple guy when it comes to women. What is wrong with you?
I ask myself that every day.
I don't know what the hell happened from the series before to the series with the Celtics.
It's my biggest conversation, and I hope we go viral with this one.
Princess no frog.
You're drunk. You should not be drinking. You should not be drinking this early in the day, bro.
Buddy, I still got 30 minutes. I start drinking.
Oh, welcome back to your favorite podcast, your favorite show, the Gumball Sports Machine podcast, the show in which we love, we laugh, we hug, we cry, we smile, and most importantly, we are positive. We were supposed to be back earlier this week, and oh boy, I was fighting it. I was fighting the sickness. I got a little bug. Things got ugly, things got rough. Just spare your guys's, especially for eating, to spare your guys's mind. I'm gonna keep that to myself. But as always, this ship does not run on just the fuel that I provide. As always, I got my dog, my boy, David DLO, aka co-host DLO. David Largo is in the building. DLO, how are you feeling here tonight?
Hey, man. Feeling good. Just got out of class. So here I am.
Did you
Living
get
a
smarter while you
dream.
were there?
No.
No. Isn't that what's supposed to happen?
A little bit.
Nobody got smarter.
Yeah. Mainly watched presentations from my upperclassmen on a presentation that I'm going to be doing next year. So that's some valuable information to know. But other than that, no, I didn't do anything. No.
I remember those days, those presentation days, D-Lo. I was the guy that I was either, sorry, not to get off topic, but I was either the guy that didn't do anything and got the good grade, or I was the guy that didn't do anything pre-presentation, and I spoke most of the time in terms of the actual presentation, and I was like the main person speaking, and that's where I got the grade. So there's really no in between for me. I usually did nothing in terms of the preparation, but unless I had to do it myself. Yeah.
We know.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that was necessary, D-Lo. I thought that I was able to. I didn't think that was.
Well,
it hurt my feelings a little bit there.
That's fine.
It's okay though. You know what? All right.
That's
Can we stop talking about presentations, D-Lo? There was a reason why I didn't last very long in school. Can we talk about sports? That's what I do best.
We know.
Never lost a debate. Never lost.
That's BS. We all know that. We know that.
Never lost.
Absolutely know that.
The VAR ball. All right, D-Lo. Well, in terms of, you know what? Maybe we'll put that to the test. BBB, triple B's in the chat. D-Lo, there was a firing. There was a couple firings this week. One of which being the main attraction in Nico Harrison, the general manager or former general manager for the Dallas Mavericks. Nico Harrison, obviously known most for trading away one of the best players in the NBA, a 5-time All-NBA first-teamer, an MVP candidate, a 25-year-old that's going to be very, very great for the next 10 years. And he traded him away. For what reason? Phew, man, I think the person who finds that answer is going to be a very, very rich and wealthy human being. But Nico Harrison was fired, D-Lo, and I think this was only a matter of time. I think it was a ticking time bomb, of which when he was going to get fired, the Dallas Mavericks owner was caught sitting courtside, obviously for a game, but he's sitting courtside for a child, or maybe some younger guy, talking to him about, and he was wearing a Lakers Luka Doncic jersey. I don't know if you've seen this. He's wearing a Luka Doncic Lakers jersey, and apparently, what he was telling this kid is that, yeah, we made a mistake. And I also want to hold accountability, but I also want to give out accountability where it's needed. And one of those guys that needs to hold accountability and received said accountability was Nico Harrison, who was fired on Monday, or I believe sometime this week. D-Lo, your reaction to this. Again, I feel like it's a long time coming. I feel like it was inevitable. But your reaction to Nico Harrison finally being fired.
Yeah, this was inevitable to me. The moment that Shams tweeted, "This is not a joke" on that Luka Doncic trade, signaled the end of Nico Harrison's time as the Dallas Mavericks GM. And really, looking back, I can't say he was awful all the time, right? Because during that 2024 season, fantastic. He went out and got Kyrie before the season started, and then at the deadline, he went and got Gafford and PJ to sort of bolster that front unit, and they were a finals team, as we all know and love. And we'll never get to see again because Nico messed it all up by trading the one superstar. But
It's a great point
like,
there, David Largo.
it was a really good team that he built, and so I can't like give him all the credit on just being a terrible GM because at times he wasn't, right? But for a majority, he was pretty terrible. Mm, He let Brunson walk, just
Yeah, that's a bad
walk
move.
beeline to New York.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Apparently, there's a subway that takes you straight from Dallas to New York, D'Lo. That's sources are telling me.
Apparently, don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. Traded Kristaps to the Wizards, where he would then go on to improve and then get traded to Boston, where he would win a ring. Big man for Luca. He needs him. I don't know why, right? Mm, And then obviously we all know the big one, Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. And the thing that just doesn't make sense to me is that for Nico, he had two main issues, one of which was defense, which what do you need defense for with a guy that's averaging currently the most points per game in the NBA right now at 37 a game? And two is health. Luka Doncic had a lot of health concerns, particularly about weight, but he also wasn't very healthy in 2020 to start. So
Yeah, it's
there were
last
a,
season.
there were a lot of concerns there, but then you go out and trade for an aging star.
Who,
That doesn't
D'Lo, has never been able to stay healthy. That
like
is
that doesn't
literally
make a
his motto.
whole lot of sense to me. Yes, is Anthony Davis better than Luka Doncic defensively? Of course he is. So you got better on that front, I guess, but it doesn't negate the 37 points that he also then provides, and as well as he is the heart and soul of the Mavericks. That's what he was. And obviously, I'm sure that you've seen the audio clips because they're in TikTok edits everywhere about Luka Doncic. He was supposed to have a statue. That's what he meant to Dallas. He was the second coming of Dirk Nowitzki to Dallas fans.
Yeah.
And they gave him away for granted, I love Anthony Davis. They traded him away for a box of scraps. That's what they traded him for. And that will go down as the biggest failure of any GM in the history of the league. There will never be a trade that surmounts this one. In my personal opinion, future GMs are going to learn from this and realize you don't trade a top 5 player in the world. You just don't do it.
No.
Unless they want out. This hint, hint, wink, wink, come to Miami. Unless they want out, I had to throw it in there.
Okay. All right.
Unless they want out, you don't trade a top 5 player. You don't even trade a top 10 player. It just doesn't happen. So, yeah, that, and obviously we all know about the Steph Curry presentation at Nike. So,
Oh boy.
he's got quite a bit of failures.
Got to spell the guy's name correctly, D'Lo.
Yeah.
Speaking of presentations, spell the guy that you want to sign with. spell his name correctly in the presentation.
He
That's their
can't say a presentation about Kevin Durant to Steph Curry. Can't do it.
No. No, no, that'd be a big no. DLO.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this didn't happen, I would have very, very big concerns about the future, more than I already have about the Dallas Mavericks. This was, and I agree with you, DLO. I think this is the worst trade, borderline in sports history, but definitely in the NBA history. When you trade Luka Doncic, again, a guy that was a first team All NBA for every single year outside of his rookie year that he was in the NBA, a guy who's led the league in scoring, a guy who's, of course, averaged over 35 points, 33 points a game, a guy that carried your team to the finals. DLO. Kyrie was good in that run. Luka Doncic's run to the finals was one of the greatest I've ever seen with my own two eyes. That was one of the greatest finals runs by a single individual I've ever seen. And then you trade him the following season.
Yep.
Listen, you know, a lot of these jobs, and especially in Arizona, I can't speak to many other states, but I guess Dallas is a little different. But most of the time, right, you need a cause for you to be fired. You need some reason. You need to do something in order to get fired. DLO, this was a pretty good reason to get fired. That was a pretty good reason to get fired. And I think, again, and I'm with you. This was not this is the biggest mistake he made, but it was not the first mistake he made. It just wasn't. Like you mentioned, trading Kristaps Porzingis away. That was a big one. That was a big one because they did trade him to the Wizards, who then traded him to the Celtics. Anyone won a championship ring. Letting Jalen Brunson walk, who's now one of the best point guards in basketball, one of the best guards in basketball. And we're going to talk about him a little bit later, but that was a mistake. Again, that with Jalen Brunson, he helped take you to the Western Conference Finals, and then you let him walk because he didn't want to pay him what he wanted. It's not even like he wanted a lot, DLO, because he went to New York and took a big ass pay cut so that they could bring in other players in.
Yep.
So he missed out on that. Now, you did trade for Kyrie, which, you know, worked out well because he helped you bring it to the finals. But again, you trade Kyrie to come play with Luka Doncic, and then you trade Luka Doncic away in the next season. Doesn't make very much sense to me, DLO, and apparently it didn't make very much sense to the Dallas Mavericks either, which is why they traded him. Or I'm sorry, why they fired him. But this was just due. It was deserved. I think more importantly, the bigger reason why he was fired, DLO, other than Luka Doncic, him trading away Luka Doncic, is him signing that bum Klay Thompson. What a bum. Why would you ever go out and get a guy like Klay Thompson? He's terrible. Worst player I've ever seen.
But the thing is that
the most overrated player I've ever seen.
he fit well with what they were trying to do with Luka and Kyrie. They needed off-ball shooting, and that's why you bring in that guy.
Yeah.
And then you trade that big piece that made it work.
Yeah.
That made it work.
You trade the guy you're building around. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, DLO, again, you're right. He did fit that system, but you know my hatred for Klay Thompson.
Oh, I understand, but like
What a bum.
when you think about it, you have the ball in Luka's hands, say a generous 75%. Right?
Yeah.
Realistically, it's probably more than that, but I'm giving Kyrie some credit here, right? And then you space the floor. That's what you do. You have Kyrie, you have Clay, and you have PJ, and you space the floor. And then you run a pick and roll with Gafford or Lively, whoever is on the floor at the time. That just works. It just works. Because what do? Do you help off and, double Luka, you give up the alley-oop. But if you then help off to stop the alley-oop, you have a wide-open three-point shooter. That's why it works so well. Luka has the gravity to do that. You get rid of the gravity, the system falls apart. That's why Clay is really bad right now.
It literally all comes crashing down.
That's why Kyrie got hurt. That's why Anthony Davis is now hurt.
Yeah.
They just don't have enough now. And Luka was the enough. And that's the problem.
Yeah, and you know, like you mentioned, he was supposed to get a statue. He was supposed to get a statue, and he would have gotten a
was.
statue. And now, of course, he's going to go play 10 years for the Lakers and be amazing for the next 10 years and be great and hopefully never win a championship, but might just win a championship. And
Probably
listen,
not.
it's probably not, hopefully not, but it's
With
all
the
going to
way the
suck.
Lakers are constructed, probably not.
Yeah, well, please God, you know what I mean? Please, I mean, like, I'm begging. Do I need to get on my knees and ask and play and pray? Don't allow these Lakers to win a championship.
It's all right. Wemby's winning it for the next 10 years anyway. It's fine.
Hey, you know,
Yeah.
it's not as bad, but still, I hate the Spurs. Oh,
We know.
God.
Oh, we know.
Can the Thunder win the next 10 years? Like, I don't mind that.
And they could split it with San Antonio. Maybe the
Yeah,
Lakers can
yeah.
get one in there.
How about you shut your mouth, D'Lo? How about you do that? You know, how about
don't
you
know,
stop
man.
putting things like this into the universe? Huh?
Listen, it's not my fault. The West is going to dominate for the next 10 years, and it's just how it's going to be.
It's supposed to be a positive show, and you're bringing up Spurs and Lakers winning championships.
Listen, I would love to talk about the Heat and the Suns winning championships, but realistically looking at it, I'm biased. It's not going to happen. It's just
No.
not.
No, not anytime soon, D'Lo.
Not unless Giannis comes to Miami.
Or he comes to Phoenix.
No, he will never do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Or Ja comes to Phoenix.
That's not
No.
happening
No.
either.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right.
Money doesn't work.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Grinch.
Oh,
That ruined my
you're
Christmas.
welcome. You're welcome. Ja to Miami is a real possibility, though.
That's not a real possibility. Don't send
A
him
real
to South Florida.
possibility, though.
Yeah,
Real.
he's gonna treat Miami like Vice City.
Yeah. Get that
GTA
pew
6,
pew out in Miami.
a little pew pew out in Miami.
Yeah.
It's a 6-foot male driving a Lamborghini Urus on the run on his high-speed chase. Oh, what did he do? Oh, he shot up somebody's hood.
Spo will get him right.
Spo better not piss him off. Because he might pull Gilbert Arenas. You know what I mean? Listen, you don't give Ja Morant playing time. Oh boy. Clock out early, Eric Spoelstra.
Anyways, moving on.
Sorry about that. Let's talk a little football, D'Lo, before we get back to basketball. Let's talk a little bit of the pigskin here. AJ Brown was on Twitch with I have no idea who. I'm sorry that I'm not able to give you credit, sir. But he was on Twitch playing Madden with another Twitch streamer. And of course, his
Janky
audio.
Rondo. There you go.
Say it
Janky
again?
Rondo. One more time.
One more time.
Janky Rondo.
Janky Rondo. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you again. So I was like, you know what? Let me shut my big old pie hole. Yeah, so Janky Rondo was streaming and he was playing AJ Brown in Madden yesterday. And it sounded like he was joking, but we all know, D'Lo, and in every joke, there's a little bit of seriousness in every joke, except this was a lot bit more serious in this joke in terms of AJ Brown and the history that AJ Brown has had so far this season with how he's felt about the Eagles offense. He had quotes like, if you have me in fantasy, go ahead and cut me, go ahead and trade me. The Eagles offense have been a since week 4, I believe he said the Eagles offense has been a ish show. Things like that. He made a bunch of comments that I'm sure Eagles fans will not be happy about. More importantly, Eagles members, Eagles players, Eagles coaches will not be happy about. D'Lo, are the Eagles in trouble? I mean, they came away with the win on Monday night against the Packers. They scored 10 points. They scored 10 points. Now the defense looks really good. I have no argument, no complaints about the Eagles defense. That is a loaded defense. You bring Brandon Graham back. Jalen Carter looks like Jalen Carter. That back end is looking good. Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, all looking good back there. Defense looks really good. Offense, not so much. David Largo, especially with the weapons that they have, they should look a lot better, especially after coming off a Super Bowl win. What is your reaction to this, and how would you feel if you were part of that Eagles offense?
Man, I don't even I don't even know how to react to this, and I'm gonna just fit one more quote out here because I have it pulled up currently. Mm. Where Rondo asks, "Everything good?" and Brown says, "No. Where have you been? Family's good. Everything else? No. It's an ish show. You on some? How you been? Struggling, brother." And that really says it all. It says it all. Mm, And we talked about this prior to the into the NFL season around week 4, where it was after week 4 we talked about it because he had the locker room comments. And
Yep.
we were talking about if AJ Brown should or would be traded. Um, And I mentioned it. He's got a Super Bowl ring now. AJ Brown is now stat chasing. He's trying to make the Hall of Fame. That's just how it goes. Not like quarterbacks where if you want to be in this, all-time great conversation, you have to win multiple Super Bowls. It's not like that with the wide receivers. You get one and then you really focus on the stats. Mm, And now that he's got one, he can focus on the stats. And so he's not getting the ball. Mm, And part of the reason is that the run game has been really bad. It's been really bad. Up until, a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, Saquon broke out his first 20 plus yard run in week
Yep.
8. Like it's been awful. And if you don't have the run game like they had last year, you then can't air the ball out. And I think what people are starting to realize is that Jalen Hurts is not a
Elite.
I don't. There you go. I didn't want to say franchise, but he's the franchise. He's not an
Got to
elite
be though.
quarterback. He's like Jared Goff. He's a game manager. That's what
Yeah.
he is, and it's okay to say that. It's okay to be that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of quarterbacks right now are game managers. There
Mhm.
are maybe 6 guys that I will confidently say are elite quarterbacks right now,
Yeah, that's a short list,
and
Elo. I
it's
think 6 is
it's
about
a
the right number.
very short list.
Mhm.
And one of those quarterbacks might be getting kicked off um, real soon, unless he comes back and proves something. Because listen, the stats can say it, but Joey B, we might be
That's
having some
that's
conversations.
that's gonna be an uncomfortable conversation we have, D'Lo.
Might be having some conversations
It's
because
got to stay
outside of the
healthy,
Super
man.
Bowl,
It's done
where are
nothing.
we at?
It's
Right?
done
And that
little or
was
nothing.
that was what, 4 years ago.
21, yeah.
So, but that's okay. It's okay to be a game manager, but game managers are not good quarterbacks. And if you're a wide receiver trying to rack up stats, you want to either be with an elite quarterback or you want to be with a game manager that has a really good offensive system. Like Detroit. That's why Jared Goff is so good, is because the offense is so good. But
Yeah.
here in Philly, the offense is terrible, dude. The offense is absolutely terrible. The line looks worse. Saquon got worse. The only improvement really has been Smitty. He's getting all of the targets. He's getting everything. And good for Smitty because I love Devontae Smith. I think he's a fantastic wide receiver and is probably the best wide receiver too in the league. But that's besides the point. AJ Brown wants the ball and they're just not giving it to him. And so, yeah, I'd be frustrated too. It's definitely going to cause some problems because they're Super Bowl contenders. Like it or not, the defense plays too good for them not to be considered that. So the offense has to figure it out.
Yeah, they got to get right, D'Lo. And earlier this year, when the Eagles were 4-0, I believe it was, or 5-0,
Mhm.
when those locker room comments were made, I remember we came on this very show and I said, "What are you complaining for? You're winning games. You're undefeated." Um, Now it's not like they've lost a ton of games. They're still 7-2. But the thing is, D'Lo, and if you remember a few years back, where the Eagles started like 10-0 or 11-0 or something like that. But they were ugly wins. They didn't look good. They didn't look great. That is kind of reminding me of that team, DLO. It's kind of reminding me of that team who won games, but they didn't look very good doing it. And they're kind of doing that again this year.
2025 Denver Broncos.
Oh boy. Now, you know what?
What?
I might not be on the same page as you.
Did you
I
hear
might
that?
not be.
I didn't hear.
No.
I thought I heard something, but
You and I might not be on the same page of that. I don't think they're a good playoff team. I think they'll get beat first, second round. But
listen, when we look at the Denver Broncos and then we look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they're in the same boat.
They are.
They're in the same boat.
Both are
Elite
offensive
defense.
Mhm.
Elite defense. One's got Bo Nix. One's got Jalen Hurts.
I can think of
Here's
three
the
letters.
problem.
3 letters between that describe those guys. MID. Is that going to win you a Super Bowl?
Bo Nix might be below MID. He might be.
But D'Lo, I'll tell you, this is like it's starting to give me very, very similar vibes to that football team because this team does not look great. I mean, you lost a blowout game. Yeah, it was on a short week, but the Giants were also on a short week. You lost a blowout game 34-17 to the Giants. Now you redeemed yourself by having one of the best games of the season, if not the best game of the season in terms of the Philadelphia Eagles, getting Saquon going. His first game over 100 yards, his only game over 100 yards. And I mean, you mentioned the run game, D'Lo. On Monday night against Green Bay, Saquon had 22 carries for 60 yards. That is 2.7 a carry. D'Lo, is that going to get the job done? No, not at all. Especially, again, if you want to go beat these very, very good teams. Now, I believe Green Bay Packers are a very good team. But is that going to go beat the Detroit Lions, who are a very, very good team? And, again, who I think is the best team in the NFC right now, aside from the Eagles. You know what? I'm interested to see what you think of that. But I mean, to finish up here on this Eagles conversation, D'Lo, I understand his frustration. I really do. Because he understands how consistent you need to be in order to go win a Super Bowl, how consistently great you need to be, and how you need to use times like this to improve your offense and learn what you're doing wrong. They're not doing that, D'Lo, because the offense looks the same week after week after week after week, and it's just not improving whatsoever. It'll have a good game against the Giants, the run game at least, and then it'll come back and have a game like this. So again, the defense is holding it down for them, but AJ Brown, 2 catches for 13 yards, not gonna do the job. That is your number one guy. Now, Smitty is having a very good season, D'Lo, but I think we both can agree that AJ Brown is still the better receiver as of right now, and you need to get your guy the ball. You need to get him the ball, and whatever is not working needs to change. Needs to change. Again, I understand you're coming off a Super Bowl. Needs to get better. Needs to get better. But D'Lo, who's the best team in the NFC?
There's this one team. Well, there's actually 2 teams out in the division that we play in.
That's very true.
One of which apparently has the front runner for MVP right now.
I know you're not talking about Sam Darnold.
Definitely not talking about Sam Darnold.
Are you talking about Matthew Stafford?
Definitely talking about Matty Ice.
He's not the front runner for MVP. He shouldn't be.
If he were a betting man, he is.
If I were a betting man, yes, but he should not be the front runner for MVP. The front runner for MVP should be 28 that plays for the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, I'm right there with you. I agree. If you were a betting man,
right now, you think the Rams are better than the Lions?
I do. I think defensively they're better. Offensively, they're better.
Oh my God, D'Lo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
With how Matthew Stafford is playing right now, he's one of those 6 that I mentioned. He is one of the 6.
I don't know if they're better than the Eagles are better than the Lions right now. I think they're really good. I think
It's a
they're
debate for
really
sure.
good. I think they're really good, D'Lo. It's absolutely a conversation and a debate. But the way that the Lions are playing football right now, just put up. Now, again, I know the Rams did the same thing, but you put up 44 against the Commanders with ease. Dan Campbell looks like he might be taking over the offensive play calling duties offensively for the Lions. The way that the team is playing right now, you get J-Mo going, you get Jamison Williams going like he did last week. Oh, man. I don't know, D'Lo. The Rams are really good, but the Lions are just so amazing.
They are. Listen, trust me, I'm a big Lions fan. And I hate the Rams because they play in my
Oh,
division.
you and I share
I
that hate, brother.
absolutely hate the Rams. And Sean McVay thinks he's better than Kyle Shanahan. It pisses me off. Don't do that.
I don't think there's any thinking about it, brother. I'll keep it a
Don't do
stack.
that.
I'll keep
Don't
it.
do
I'll
that.
keep it a $1,000.
Don't do that.
Sean McVay might be the best coach in the NFL.
All right. For someone that meat rides Andy Reid, here we go.
I'm keeping it a stack right now.
No,
I'm keeping
Kyle.
it.
Shanahan's better. Shanahan is
That's
better.
not the case. That is not the case.
It is. Promise.
Sean McVay is. Oh, he's different.
Sean McVay is really bad without Matthew Stafford.
You know what hurts me the most?
Jalen Hurts.
Both of that hurt that guy. You know what? Actually, okay, I see what
guy
you did there.
absolutely.
I see what you did there also.
Well, yes, but he absolutely hurts my eyeballs to watch. Absolutely.
He does. Yeah, I'm glad that the Suns played on Monday because I was watching that instead of watching the Monday night game, and they won.
As you said.
Yeah. You know what sucks for me the most, both of those idiots we were just talking about playing my division.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
We've
got 3. Well, we've got 2 really good teams, and then we've got one that kind of mid team that's leaning towards good, and then we got just one. Just one.
No. I think we should just say we can just end there. There's 3 teams that play in the NFC West.
Let's move on. We could
as far as we are concerned, D'Lo, there are 3 teams that play in the NFC West.
We know. Yeah. We could stay in the NFC East though with that other team.
It's a crap show, isn't it? Aside from the Eagles. And even that's a crap show right now.
We know.
All right, D'Lo. And speaking of the NFC East, Brian Daboll, head coach or former head coach of the New York Giants, was fired this week. Now there's been a little bit of a debate in terms of whether he deserved to be fired and whether the Giants should have let him finish out the season before his firing. Brian Daboll, a guy who's been to the playoffs, he won a playoff game. He got a new offensive system. He got a bunch of new guys for that offense this year. He got Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, who obviously got hurt for the year, Malik Neighbors, who also got hurt for the year. And they've had their moments, but they just had them. Those moments haven't been sustained for the most part. Do you agree? Do you believe he should have been fired? And if you do, why? And if you don't,
I don't think he should have been fired. And at least if you're thinking of firing him, you wait until the end of the season. I don't even think that he should have been fired at all. I like Brian Daboll as a head coach. He is definitely a player's coach, like we talk about with Mike Vrabel over there in New England. Hate that guy.
Yeah,
he's a player. He's a player coach, and for what New York is doing right now, they need that because they're not winning a lot of games. Like, we're not expecting the Giants to go out and be Super Bowl contenders right now. So really, there was no reason to do this at all. And considering that they were really starting to click before the injuries hurt them, right? Obviously, Malik Neighbors went down with the ACL tear. Um, and Jackson Dart is finding his stride. I thought that he would have had a bad game by now, and he's been really solid. Um, And then Cam Scattaboo had his injury, and so the run game has now stopped. And so I think it's just an unfortunate, circumstance of, injuries halted his progress because the defense is getting better week by week. Um, Pretty sure Abdul Carter is who they picked, and
This year, yeah.
he's been really good, particularly in the run game. He's been really, really good. I think he leads all rookies in quarterback pressures. And so I think he was starting to find like a little groove here where they're not winning games, but they're definitely more competitive than we thought they were going to be. And so
Yeah.
now you go out and you get rid of him for being competitive. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I think I'm with you. I'm with you to an extent, though, DLO. I'm with you that the fact that he should have been fired right now. I think they should have given him to the end of the season, see how Jackson Dart improves, see how he progresses, and see how the offense progresses. That young defensive line, the Abdul Carters, the Kayvon Thibodeaux, he's not young anymore, but Dexter Lawrence, like see how that defense improves, that back end, Drew Phillips, Deontay Banks and company. I think they should have given him to the end of the season. I think that's the respect that they at least should have gave him, D-Lo. Especially again, going to the playoffs, win a playoff game. Now, again, I understand that's in the past, and the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. But for the history that he's kind of been there and the little success that he's had, it hasn't been much, but the little success that he's had, I think they should have at least waited to the end of the season and evaluate what they should do with him. But they obviously didn't do that. Now, I think the conversation is leaning more towards Joe Shane, the general manager, and what they should do with him and his job at the moment. Now, Joe Shane, obviously, who has made a few questionable decisions, one of which being the most eye-popping in letting Saquon Barkley walk, and then him also inevitably going to division rival Philadelphia Eagles. So maybe his job is in question a little bit here towards the end of the season. But I'm with you, D-Lo. I don't think he should have been fired, at least during the season. I think you let him finish out the season. You let Jackson Dart get a whole season with Brian Daboll and see how their relationship builds, how their connection improves. And you see what they do. You see if they're competitive down the stretch of the season, and you see what happens. But I think that's just an interesting kind of way to go about it if you're the Giants. But again, it's the Giants. Those two New York football franchises aren't very good, D-Lo. And so this is nothing new from them. You know what I mean? So this is, again, not anything I didn't expect from the Giants because I don't agree with the decision, but I understand the decision. I'll put it like that. Now, we don't have to talk about this too long. Sorry, D-Lo, what were you going to say?
The good thing about the Giants being, a bad football team is that your brother is a Giants fan, and so you make fun of him on how bad the Giants really are. Just wanted to point that out. I love you, Michael.
I don't. It's a stupid idiot. God, no, he knows I love him to death, but him and his stupid Giants. You know what's funny? And also off topic, he watches a little bit of basketball, and he's from New York. Mm-hmm. And so now 3-4 years ago, when KD, Kyrie, and James Harden were all hooping over there on the Nets, Nets this, Nets that. I'm a Nets fan. I go KD, go Kyrie. Now all of a sudden, the Nets are bad.
He's a Knickerbocker, huh?
And apparently, go Knickerbockers. What happened? And the funny thing about it, D-Lo, he's from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn. What
I can't blame him though. Like when you have a team like Brooklyn, like they are right now.
Yeah, I'll
be
give
the worst
him
team in basketball.
That's a bad basketball team over there, D'Lo.
Really bad.
That's a bad basketball team, and without their best player right now, too. Oh man. Now speaking of these Giants, D'Lo, they are playing at home. They're at MetLife this week, and they are playing against the Packers, who just lost to the Eagles on Monday night. And Jackson Dart is hurt, which means, oh, did you think it was going to be Russell Wilson? How about absolutely not? The gospel, the wonderful, the amazing Jameis Winston is going to be taking the snaps behind the center. D'Lo. Now personally, I love Jameis Winston. I love him. I love him on the. I think he's not a very good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. Only problem is sometimes you forget which teams he plays for, and so he'll throw it to the other team a few times. But he's got an arm. I mean, he can be accurate. He's a leader. And then I love him even more off the field. D'Lo. He's man of faith. He's a great guy. He's funny. I love Jameis Winston. I hope he throws for 500 yards in 5. And I love Jordan Love too. But Jameis Winston that's a good dude, man. Are you expecting anything from Jameis Winston, and what are you expecting from his start for the Giants?
No, I'm not. Listen, I love Jameis too, but I'm not expecting anything really. Now, we just talked about the Eagles' offensive struggles, but we got to give credit. The Packers' defense still held them to 10. And so when you now have backup quarterback, because I don't know, because Russ is also there, and I don't know who's the backup and who's the backup, but whatever.
I still don't know what
Like,
they signed Russell Wilson for.
I don't know. Maybe veteran leadership for Jackson Dart. I don't know.
He's done
I don't
nothing.
know.
He's done nothing off or on the football field.
They just wanted to pay him, give him a little check.
Yeah, apparently. It's just stupid.
But it's just like, I think this offense is too banged up for really anybody to succeed. Your two main weapons on offense are out for the year, and so there's just not a whole lot there. And while they have some promising young guys, none of them scream, wide receiver one or RB1, right? And so against this Packers defense, I'm not expecting anything from Jameis. But again, I would love it if he threw for 500 yards and 5 TDs. Because then we get to see this.
Then we get to
eating W's. Yeah.
Jameis Winston.
Love that guy.
Yeah, as much as I would want to disagree with you, D'Lo, I don't. I very much agree with you. I expect very little from Jameis Winston this week with the lack of weapons he has. The offensive line that has been shaky all year. Again, running backs just who they were up for wazoo, and now it's just Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, and then Darius Slayton is your number one wide receiver, followed by Wan'Dale Robinson, who I think is a good player, but it's not great. So I expect very little from Jameis Winston. So, but that's my dog. That's my guy. So I thought we talked a little bit about him. But now, D'Lo, we get to talk about your favorite team. How about we talk about your favorite team in the NFL, D'Lo? Let's talk about the Thursday night football matchup between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. D'Lo, I know you love the New England Patriots. I know you have a very, very strong affection for that team. And while we still have a few minutes before we get on to the next topic in terms of basketball, tomorrow, Jets going into Foxborough for Thursday night football.
I hate that you're even bringing this up because this was not on the show sheet.
This is not on the show sheet, but I've completely forgot. We're recording this on Wednesday, and this episode is coming out on Thursday. So I as much as I love to spring things on you, D'Lo, especially when it's about the Patriots.
Yeah.
Who you got winning tomorrow, D'Lo?
And the Jets. You know what I mean?
But you know what? The Jets are on a 2-game winning streak, D'Lo.
I don't care. Listen, I really hate the Patriots, dude, because we thought that they were going to be really bad for years to come without Tom Brady, and then they just get magically gifted his clone.
Yeah, okay,
Mm.
no,
Hey,
no,
hey, you see,
no.
you see what
There's-
Kev said in the group chat about Tom Brady giving up some of his DNA for genetic
I,
cloning? That
well, thanks for
23
bringing it up.
years ago, and
I usually,
Drake May is 23, and
I put a lot of energy into avoiding things like that Kevin says.
oh, we
So,
know.
yeah.
But I mean, realistically, yeah, it's going to be the Patriots. It will probably be a blowout because the defense is really good. The offense, as much as I hate to say it, is really good, especially coming off last week, where, the guy that we thought was going to be RB1 finally exploded for RB1 numbers. Mm, And listen, I was on heavy fraud watch for the Patriots because they hadn't beaten a good team. And then they went out and beat the Bucks. So I kind of
Yeah,
have to respect them now.
that was a backbreaker.
Um, and I absolutely hate it because listen, as much as I hate all of the NFC West because my team plays there, if there's one team I hate more, it's the Patriots. And if there's one team I
That's
hate
fair.
more than that, it's the Dallas Cowboys. But
Again, that's
um,
fair. No argument here.
but the Patriots are there, man, and they're good, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it because we should be better than them, and we're not. Right? But yeah, give me the Patriots, dude. I
Oh
hate
man,
you.
I kind of like is that a tier? I see D'Lo. Is that a
You're diabolical, dude.
yeah? Oh, sorry. It's in the genes.
Yeah.
In the
I'm never coming back to the show, dude. I can't believe you sprung that on me like that. That's crazy.
Sorry, D'Lo. I know your love and affection for the Patriots. I thought you'd like to talk about it for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Now,
sure,
okay.
man.
See, I I
And that's why the
agree.
Cardinals will never win a Super Bowl in your
Okay.
lifetime.
All right. Well, that's okay. As
It's all
much
right.
as
The Niners are never gonna win one in mine either. We're in the same boat, dude.
you
We're
know
in the
what? Hey,
same
you know
boat.
what? It's two of a kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two of a
We're in the
kind. When you
same
look at it,
division.
same division. It's a whole lot of this is what I like to call the boat of depression. You know what I mean? It's it's not a yacht, but it's also not as bad as a Titanic. You know what I mean? That's kind of like it's kind of the way I like to think of it. D'Lo, I agree with your basis point. I think the Patriots are going to win. I think it's going to be a close game though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Patriots are due for a trap game and to play down to their competition. They haven't done it all this season for the most part. And aside from the game against the Raiders in week 1 of the season, they haven't done it much in terms of play down to the competition. I think they're due. They do have a very young football team. So I think they are due to not lose, but play a very, very unconventional, nasty, ugly game that they just barely scrape away with the win. Maybe that was against the Falcons. But I think this game is gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a 23-19 game. I think it's gonna be a very mid-scoring game. I think the Patriots, they might turn the ball over a few times, but I think it's gonna be close. But I do think the Patriots will eventually come away with the W, D'Lo. As much as that hurts, no, you know what? Let me stop pretending. As much as that hurts your heart, it hurts mine. I hate the Patriots.
We
God, I
all
hate
do,
them.
man. We all
Yeah.
do.
D'Lo, let's get back to some basketball. Okay, there's a lot of injuries. It sucks. There's a lot of injuries going around in the NBA now. Let's talk. I do want to talk about a few. One that happened tonight. So hopefully that gentleman will be okay. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Let's start with Embiid. Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. And the thing about that, D'Lo, is they've been playing some pretty good basketball. They won last night. They beat the Boston Celtics. Looked a little shaky. They had a big lead, allowed the Celtics to get back into the game. So not the prettiest of basketball games, but they did end up coming away with the W, D'Lo, what I want to ask you is, as well as the 76ers are playing right now, how much could now again he's reportedly day to day, but the news is that they're going to further evaluate his knee, Joel Embiid, that is. How much could this kind of derail the Philadelphia 76ers? They started off hot. They've slowed down a little bit since. They're 7-4. Could this derail the Philadelphia 76ers season?
No, I don't really think so. Could it hurt their playoff aspirations in terms of getting far in the playoffs? Sure. But I think that the with how dynamic Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe are, I think that's enough, right? And up until this point, Embiid has been on a minutes restriction anyway. And on top of that, he hasn't really returned to form offensively, but especially defensively. He has not looked like the same player defensively as he used to. And so I think that realistically, it won't be that much of a problem for them, especially because they'll have another guy coming back who we're going to talk about in a few minutes that can sort of subsidize at least the scoring part of that. So I think they'll be fine in terms of, trying to get into the playoffs. He's out extended to that point and potentially the year if he has to do something again to that knee. Definitely hurts their, playoff aspirations. I think they'll be fine for now.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think they're going to continue to win games for the most part because of how fast VJ Edgecombe has come along and Tyrese Maxey and how well he started the season. And again, God forbid he gets hurt, which again is a whole entire another conversation, we can have or we would have. But the way that Tyrese Maxey is leading the league in scoring right now, D'Lo. So he's played some very good basketball. And so I think as long as they're able to stay somewhat consistent, they'll be able to win games, especially in the Eastern Conference. But I don't know if it's going to derail them as much in terms of the Joel Embiid injury, because like you mentioned, he has been on a minutes restriction, but more importantly, like you mentioned, D'Lo, he has not looked like the same defensive presence that he had 2 or 3 years ago. I'm also going to say this, D'Lo, if this knee injury, and it's the same knee, if this knee continues to be a problem for his career, D'Lo, as much fun as I have, and I'm being selfish, as much fun as I have watching Joel Embiid play when he's healthy, when he's 100%, because I think he's a top 5 player in basketball when he is healthy. If this knee continues to give him problems, D'Lo, it might be time to hang it up.
Might be.
It might be time to hang them up because he has children. He if it's as bad as it continues to be, and it's only going to get worse, D'Lo, because Father Time is undefeated. Joel Embiid is not a spring chicken anymore. It's not like he's old, but he's not the youngest guy in the world anymore. And so it's only going to get
30 now, right? He's in his 30s.
He's 30. And so it's only going to get worse. And obviously, I mentioned he has children. You're going to want to be able to run around with your kids and well, I'll just keep it basic. Walk around the house. Knees are pretty important for that, D'Lo. It's getting very close to that time to there's a line, D'Lo, where okay, this is bad. I don't know if it's going to get any better, and it's definitely going to get worse as I age and as I continue to play NBA level basketball. It might be time to hang him up, to wrap it up. But D'Lo, let's talk about Paul George. What could he do to the Sixers team, and how could he help? Obviously, you're never going to fill Joel Embiid's shoes. Those are humongous shoes, both literally and physically, to fill. But how could Paul George kind of help fill that void that is Joel Embiid?
I think Paul George needs a vengeance tour. Coming off of last year, where he looked like Pandemic P again. He did.
Yeah.
He was terrible last year. And I think he's got something to prove again. Prove that he can still be an all-star level player. Prove that he can still be a second option on a team. And realistically, I still think he could be that guy. I still think that he can go out there and give you 22 to 24 a night and play some solid defense. Now, obviously, he's not the defender that he once was, which is why I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and play great defense, but solid defense. And that's all you can really ask from him. I think that'll be enough. I really do. Now, if you still, I don't think that you can replace the impact of Embiid, especially when he's healthy, because to my knowledge, that's the only person who has dropped 70 points on the best defensive player in the league in Wemby.
And
He's the
almost
only
in NBA
player to do it.
history. Yeah,
So,
70.
like, when you think about it, you can't replace what Joel Embiid gives you. But if you can be more consistent than he is, and that's a lot asking, like coming from Paul George, right? It's a lot asking him to stay consistent, especially when it comes to health. But if he can stay on the floor and he can give you 20 a night, I think they'll be fine.
I'm gonna have to see it to believe it, DLO, in terms of his ability to stay healthy. But I think if he's healthy, he can absolutely impact his team in a positive way. Like you mentioned, he's not the defender he once was, but he can give you good to very good defense, or average to above average defense on any given night. He can give you 35, 40 on any given night, but he could also shoot 3 of 18 on any given night. That's just where Paul George is at in his career at the moment. So I think he could absolutely impact this team. But again, I'm going to have to see it to believe it in terms of him just staying on the court, him just coming back and consistently being healthy. That's the biggest thing to me. Like when he's on the court, he's impactful. He's a very, very good basketball player still. Just haven't been able to see him very much on the court recently, DLO. So that's my biggest worry about that. I mean, again, if he's healthy, he can have a tremendous impact. But it's a big if, David Largo. It's a big if.
I guess.
Also, before we get to the next injury update, I would like to mention it's been 3 quarters, and in this Nuggets and Clippers game, and Nikola Jokic has 52 points.
Good for that guy. That guy's a hooper.
Oh, that's a bad boy. I was looking through these scores.
No, go ahead.
52 points. No, you're good. I was just kind of amazed. I mean, this is on the second night of a back-to-back. Also, they played the Kings last night and beat the Kings. This is on the second night of a back-to-back, and he has 52 points on 17 of 22 shooting. That is 77% from the field, DLO, and he's 5 of 6 from 3. Huh. Okay. Now, am I terrified? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of our injury topic, though, and speaking of the Nuggets Clippers, we should probably talk about Kawhi, right? No, we didn't mention him pregame, but we should probably.
Yeah.
What do they do? Is it time to move off of Kawhi?
D-Lo,
Is it time?
If you move off of him, do you cut him? Do you trade him? Like, I don't think he's going to be able to get traded. Nobody's going to want him.
Not for the money that he's making.
And the amount that he's on like you mentioned, the money that he's making and the amount that he plays, nobody's going to want that.
Just don't line up.
I mean, now Kawhi Leonard, he is out for. He doesn't have a timetable, but he is out with the sprained ankle. So it doesn't sound too bad. He's out again tonight, obviously. But yeah, I don't think there's anywhere you kind of stuck with him. After you re-signed him 2 years ago, I believe it was, 1.5 years ago, you kind of stuck with him. Like,
fortunately, but it's like, what do you do? You gotta. At some point, you're just going to have to cut your losses and realize that it wasn't right.
No, 100%.
Kind of like you did with Paul George. Kind of like you did
That's
with
what you're gonna.
PG.
That's what you're gonna have to do, Lila. They're in Kawhi Leonard purgatory. The Clippers are. They're in
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard purgatory. Simple as that. Simple as that. They don't. They are not good enough to go in and compete for a championship, but they are also not bad enough to which they are a lottery team every year, in which they are just at the bottom of the West. They're kind of just okay every year. Like they're never great, they're never amazing, but they're also never awful or terrible. They're just
And
kind
it's now
of
5 years. It's 5 years of Kawhi.
and they're
2020.
just. I don't know how you get off of them. I really don't.
Don't think that you do.
That's the problem. That's
So
the
I
problem.
just felt like we should talk about it real quick since we're talking about that Clippers game.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's stay with the Clippers. Bradley Beal, somebody I have become very familiar with, and thankfully I'm no longer familiar with. But on a serious note, Bradley Beal will have season-ending Bradley Beal will have season-ending surgery for a hip injury
Hip
that he suffered.
fracture. Yep.
Hip fracture. Yeah, that he suffered. He didn't have too much of an impact on the Clippers like so far this season, but it's still early. Maybe he could have changed. Maybe he could have kind of turned it up a little bit. But now the aspirations for the Clippers aren't very high to begin with. But how much can losing Bradley Beal for the entire year, DLO? How much could that impact the Clippers?
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. We call them the unction for a reason. None of their pieces have worked out so far. Other than James Harden, who has looked, pretty good by comparison of his age, nobody has performed. They brought in Bradley Beal. He's underperformed. They brought in Chris Paul. He's underperformed. Zubac looks like he's taken a step back. Kawhi is now injured. I have no hope for this Clipper team, and they're not just in Kawhi purgatory. I think they're just in purgatory. I mean,
Yeah.
the one guy that I thought was going to be there, and thankfully he's not because he's now on my team, is Norman Powell, and they need a Norman Powell, and they don't have a Norman Powell.
I think they thought that was Bradley Beal's role. I think Bradley Beal was going to come in and be that Norman Powell, but Bradley Beal is not the Bradley Beal he was 3 or 4 years ago.
And he's just not. And listen, same thing with the Embiid talk. At some point, we got to sit down with Bradley Beal and say, hey, dude, he's just not doing it anymore. Just hang it up. Just hang up the cleats. Well, sneakers in this case. Hang up the sneakers.
Yeah.
It's just time. Bradley Beal, I just don't know if he can be a contributor on a basketball team anymore. And that's fine. What is?
I'm with you on that, DLO, in terms of the Bradley Beal, because it might be time to hang it. Not like right now. Now that this is going to be season-ending surgery, it might be time to hang him up.
Another guy, he's got kids.
He's got kids, man. He's got a family. You're going to want to be able to run around with them. And again, like I said, more importantly, walk around the house without screaming in agony. Like I can't say that enough. Like Bradley Beal, now this might be the end of his career regardless, because even if he does want to come back, I can't imagine a team, especially what he's done the first 11 games of the season, especially what he's done. He hasn't done much. He's averaging about 5 points a game, shooting 42% from the field and 30 some odd percent from three. It hasn't done much. So I can't imagine another team giving an opportunity unless there's a really, really desperate team out there next season that really wants a guy like Bradley Beal. And, maybe who knows, he wants to come back and he'll play. But I think it might be time for Bradley Beal to walk away.
The thing is like, I don't think people understand that the pelvis, aka his hip fracture, is one of the strongest bones in the body. You
Yeah.
don't see a lot of hip fractures until you get up into, the late 70s and early 80s, and people are falling and breaking their hip. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
Um, and so uh, we had one last year, and Chet fractured his hip.
Yeah.
Um, and so Chet is young. He can work that off. Bradley
And
Beal is
he doesn't
not.
have an injury history like Bradley Beal.
He doesn't. And so for me, it's just, I think this is one of those technically not career ending injuries, but he's not going to move the same after this. He just
No.
won't. Not that he was moving the same now. He's lost a step. Ever since he got out of Washington, he just has not looked like the same player. And I think the injury now is only going to make it worse.
Yeah, I mean he's 32 and he's going to be 33 going into next season.
Coming off of a
And
hip fracture.
that's not exactly the most attractive thing if you're an NBA team going into free agency. So I feel for him. I feel
It's
for
like,
him.
unless the Wizards bring him back, I
Yeah.
just don't see a team. I don't.
No. And I will say I'm glad he got to come back to Phoenix before he got hurt. So just no reason. But I'm glad that he got to
You didn't have to say
back.
it. You didn't have to.
You know what? Is that on
But
me, DLO? That might be on
yeah,
me.
that's on you. That
That might
is.
be on me.
That
Yeah,
is on
that
you.
might be my bad. That's my bad. Yeah. So I mean, it sucks that it happened. I feel for the man. I feel for the player. So again, I'll all on the court hatred aside, and the pain and the depression that this man has caused me over the past 3 years of my existence, being a part of the Phoenix Suns. Listen, I'm praying for him and his family. Hopefully, good health. I think it might be time to hang him up, though, D-Lo. I think it might be time to wrap it up.
Agree.
All right, let's talk about his former team, D-Lo, and of course, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns and Jalen Green. Jalen Green came back for one game off of a hamstring strain that he suffered in training camp before the season. Came back for a game and looked fantastic. Didn't he, D-Lo? 29 points. Hit 5 threes, I believe. Hit a gang of threes, was getting to the basket, looked good, was moving well. Played the next game in LA, and oh boy, took a step, and there it went. My hopes and dreams, but all of them gone. The little ones that I had. And now he is reported to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, D-Lo. Obviously, the Suns have played all but 1.25 games without Jalen Green. But how much could this injury affect the trajectory of the Suns season, given that the Suns have started the season off pretty hot?
I don't think it changes it a whole lot. The thing that we all know about Jalen Green is that he's inconsistent. It's just how it is. Not in terms of health, but in terms of him putting the ball in the basket. So, oh yes, he came out first game, on a hot streak, absolute heater. It's not going to be like that every game. And especially you're going to have those lows of lows. Like we talked about with Paul George. There's going to be games where he shoots 3 for 18 and has, 8 points. It's just how it is with Jalen Green. So unless he's just turned it around here in Phoenix, there are going to be games where he wins you games, and there are going to be games where he loses you games. And unfortunately, um, the Suns are just not in a position where I feel like Jalen Green would win them enough games to change the trajectory based off of where they are now, because they're playing really good basketball right now.
Yeah.
Booker is one of the best players in the league still. Absolutely love that guy. But the supporting cast has been
What
a
are you
lot
trying to do,
better.
Leo? Huh?
No, not trying
You
to.
trying to make
No,
you trying to make me
no,
happy?
no. I
Huh?
shouldn't have
Isn't my
said it
birthday?
now. See,
Is it?
I shouldn't have said it
Okay.
now. I give him
Okay.
one compliment. All right, here we go.
Sorry.
The
I'm sorry.
supporting cast has been a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And I think that's really the standout. And if the supporting cast continues to play well, I think the Suns will stay on trajectory for where I personally have them, which is potentially, 9 through 11, maybe squeaking in the play-in. Um, I don't think Jalen Green pushes them any higher than that. I also don't think that he pushes them any lower than that. So I think they're still relatively on pace for where I have.
Yeah. Before I even get to the Suns, DLO, I'm starting to think that I am not destined to be happy
Just now
because,
realizing?
you know what? It's a good point. I probably should have realized that a lot sooner. But yeah, number one,
We live in Arizona.
yeah. Oh, see, speaking of which, let me just a couple examples. Just a couple examples, right? Jalen Green, start with him. He has played 82 games the last 2 seasons, and in his rookie year, he missed 6 games. So the first 3 years of his career, he missed 6 total games. He has missed double that so far this season. That's one. The Arizona Diamondbacks go out and sign Corbin Burns, one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. Most well known for never missing a start. What does he do, D-Lo? Oh, Corbin Burns has to get Tommy John surgery. It hurts. It hurts, D-Lo. It just never ends. It's never-ending pain, never-ending sadness as an Arizona sports fan. But I will say, in terms of the Suns and Jalen Green, I'm kind of with you. I don't think it will impact, at least in the short term. I don't think it'll impact the trajectory of their season as much, because I, like you, and said I have them making the play-in. I have them around 38 to 42 wins. That's kind of where I have them this year. Now they're on pace to do that. Now, Lord knows what's going to happen the rest of the year. But they're playing some pretty good basketball right now. I believe they're on a 5-ish game win streak. They started off 1-4, and now they are 7-5 after beating the Dallas Mavericks tonight. So again, hopefully they continue to play well. Devin Booker has looked a lot like Devin Booker once again. And D-Lo, like you mentioned, the supporting cast has looked really good. Really good. The duo, the number one duo in the league in terms of 3-pointers made. Do you know who that is, D-Lo? Can you tell me?
Devin Booker and Grayson Allen.
Close. Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen.
Ain't no
The
way,
duo.
dude. We're talking about Royce O'Neal.
The number one duo in terms of 3-pointers made in the association is Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen. So there's one part of the supporting cast. Mark Williams has come as advertised. He has been very good for this team, protecting the rim, catching lobs at the rim. Now, he has very good hands, D-Lo. That's a very underrated part of his game. He has very good hands. So if you throw it up to him, or if you throw a bullet pass to him, 9 times out of 10, he's going to catch the ball and finish at the rim. Obviously, he's ridiculously athletic. Dylan Brooks, he missed a few games due to this groin injury. He's looked really good on both sides of the ball, on both ends of the ball, maybe I should say. He played well today against the Mavericks. Kind of stupid technical, but that's Dylan Brooks. You know, what else is new? But he's brought an energy to this team that this team just needed, especially after the last few years. D-Lo, this team needed the energy that Dylan Brooks has brought to this team. Nick Richards, the backup big, the guy that the Suns traded for last year, has looked really, really good. He's probably been one of my pleasant surprises of the season so far of this team. This team has looked really good. Colin Gillespie off the bench has been really, really good, shooting the ball really well, being that second ball handler to Devin Booker when he goes to the bench and when Devin Booker's even on the floor. So it's been nice to have Colin Gillespie be that sixth man coming off the bench. It's been really good, D-Lo. This team is playing well. They're playing together. They're playing connected. They're playing aligned. That's a joke around here in Phoenix, and obviously that was the term that Matt Ishbia and company used to going into the season. But they've looked really good. And now Jalen Green, it sucks not to have him because of what we saw him do in his son's debut. And so to miss him for 4 to 6 weeks at least kind of hurts. But let him get healthy, let him get right. Because this is one of those guys. This is one of the guys that obviously we got in the trade for KD that we don't know if is going to be a part of this long-term team, of this long-term future for the Suns. And so this kind of sets that plan back in terms of evaluating if we want Jalen Green to be a part of this team long-term. But I think when he comes back, he'll have enough time to kind of establish himself, and we'll be able to evaluate, okay, maybe we can keep him around. Maybe he is a core piece of this team. Maybe this is a piece of the next great Phoenix Suns team. So it's going to be tough to see, but it sucks. It sucks seeing him go out like that, especially after he's only missed 6 games of the last in his entire career coming into this year.
Well, the other thing is that it was the same hamstring. So it kind of makes me wonder if maybe he rushed back too quick and now it's re-aggravated. But from the way he was moving in the debut, like it didn't look like that. So it could
and
just
that's
be
kind of what
like
I was thinking.
another freak hamstring strain. Like
I really hope not, because to your point, D'Lo, I was thinking, okay, did they rush him back? But they seemed really careful about it. Like they seemed very, very cautious about bringing him back and making sure that he was ready to go when he came back. And then when he came up limp in that second game against the Clippers, it just did not look pretty. And so, again, maybe it was some freak hamstring injury that happened, that some new aggravation that came up. Hopefully that's not the case. But again, hopefully he's back, in the near future. But at least for the next month and a half, he's going to be done. He's going to be out. And so this team has learned to play without Jalen Green so far, and they've done a pretty good job at it so far. So we're going to see. We're going to see if this team is able to compete with these other teams. They got the Pacers coming up tomorrow, who are 1-10, by the way. Goodness gracious. So that'll be at the home, at the house, in the crib, off of back-to-back. They're leaving Dallas tonight, coming back to Phoenix. But we'll see. We'll see how the Suns stay and if they can keep this level of play up, without Jalen Green. All right, D'Lo, one more. The one that happened tonight. I have not seen the clip, but I did see the story on it. Jalen Brunson tonight in their game. Who did they play tonight? They played the Orlando Magic in MSG. They did end up losing to the New York Orlando Magic 124.
Orlando Magic song.
Yeah. Oh, is there an Orlando Magic song?
You ain't heard their winning theme song?
I've not.
I'm gonna have to play that for you. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh God. Now he played for most of the game. He played 37 minutes. He had 31 points. So he played most of the game. And this seems to be a late game injury for Jalen Brunson. Rolled his ankle, turned his ankle real bad. He was seen leaving the arena on crutches. Maybe that's just a cautious way to go around it. Maybe this ankle injury is really bad. But D'Lo, if you remember, he did the same thing last year in the game against the Lakers, in which he had like 40 plus points or something like that in overtime. So, and I think we're going to change our tune a little bit when we talk about Jalen Brunson and the impact that he has on the Knicks. But if Jalen Brunson is out for an extended period of time due to this ankle, D'Lo, how much could that derail the Knicks team?
I'm trying to find this theme song. Trying to trying to find the theme song in it. Oh, here you go.
Now I'm
You
scared.
put it up to my. Like, not at all.
Never heard that.
Okay, because NBA is going like NBA fans are going crazy over it because it kind of slaps.
Is it a good song, really?
Yeah, they're messing with it. They're messing with it out in Orlando.
Might have to do a little research. Might have to go do a little research on this song. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, this one sucks, dude. This one sucks, especially because there is so much unknown. We don't know. It just happened, right? So we've got no confirmation on, is it just a twist of the ankle? Is there some ligament damage? Is it going to require surgery? Listen, we just don't know. But the fact that he's walking out in crutches instead of a boot worries me. Because if he was in a boot, I would feel better. Because obviously we know in San Antonio, Dylan Harper was in a boot and he is out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So realistically, if JB was also in a boot, that would be the timeline that I would sort of expect. But the fact that he can't put anything on it scares me a little bit. We could be looking at a multi-month footage from JB, and that, to me, changes the trajectory of this team in general. From a top 4 seed where I expect them to where they could potentially drop. Now, I don't expect them to drop too much because obviously they still have the guys, right? You still have Mikal Bridges, who is still underrated, and I don't know how he is, but he still is. And you have Cat, and you have OG, and Josh Hart, and Jordan Clarkson can supplement some of that scoring if he figures out how to get it going. And so, like, they have pieces to still stay competitive, but I can now see them dropping more games than they should. And that's the part that scares me.
Yeah, in terms of the injury, DLO, that's a little worrisome. That's a little worrisome. If he's not able to put any weight, again, maybe this is an overreaction. Maybe it's just because they didn't have a boot to put on him, but I doubt that. But
This is the
if he
NBA.
couldn't put any weight on it, yeah, you're right. It's the NBA. You'd imagine if they needed a boot, they'd give this guy a boot, but they just apparently maybe not. But if he can't put any weight on it, D'Lo, and he's forced to use crutches, that worries me a little bit. Now, again, it is the same day, so maybe it was just a lot of pain. And obviously, with a sprained ankle, D'Lo, I've suffered a gang of rolled ankles, D'Lo. I know you've suffered a bunch of sprained rolled ankles. They're not fun, but there also are different severities to a sprained ankle. I've never had a sprained ankle bad enough and able to not walk on it.
Someone
and
who
I
has.
Yeah, I do too.
And he had ligament damage.
Yeah,
Boy, on holiday.
I was
He
thinking the
was
same
he
thing.
was in crutches, man. He was in a boot, and he had a lot of damage to the ligaments.
Yeah, and man, actually, speaking of not to change topics, but I remember when he did that and he rolled his ankle and he missed I think 1 or 2 games, and I remember we were like, dog, we got to get John back. Like, John, hey,
Yes.
we were like, speaking of Brian Daboll, like, you remember when Brian Daboll went into the tent looking for Jackson Dart, we were like, hey, John, how you feeling, bro? You ready to go? You ready?
You ready to go?
ready to come back, bro?
You can go play in the boot. You got it.
Yeah, come on, lace the boot up a little bit. It's all right. But like that like we've seen things like that happen before. And again, John didn't have to miss too much time. I think he missed like a week and he came back, but John is also a thug though. John was, man, that's a boy.
It was a lot longer than that. He
No,
might
John
not have
killed
been
him.
on a team. Or
Was
sophomore?
Oh, okay. You know what? I think the time I'm talking about was my senior year.
Okay.
Or no, either
Yeah.
my junior or senior year. Maybe it was my senior year.
Our sophomore year, he missed
Mhm.
like at least half of the season.
Yeah, see. Like that.
It was
That's the
really
terrifying.
bad. It was really
That's
bad.
the terrifying thing.
But
Because if Jalen Brunson has to have, and half the high school season is what? It's about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. That's a long time for the Knicks to be without their best player. That's a long time. And I'll tell you what, 20 points, 3 assists on 43% shooting from the field ain't going to do it from Cat. Cat's going to have to step up. Cat is going to have to step up. You mentioned Jordan Clarkson. I think he could step in and take away some of the pressure off of Cat now that Jalen Brunson is going to be out, because I can't imagine he plays the next game. But Jalen Brunson is Jordan Clarkson is gonna have to step up. OG is gonna have to step up. Mikal Bridges is gonna have to step up. More importantly, again, Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to step up. He's going to have to play his best in order for this team to still stay competitive and be one of the top teams in the East. So I mean, they're 7-4. They're not bad. I mean, they were undefeated. They were undefeated at home going into this game, and now obviously the Magic came in and put hands and feet on them here in MSG. But so we'll see. We'll see. He had 15 points tonight, DLO. It's not going to work. Won't cut it. But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully Jalen Brunson is not. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'm trying to see if I can find the injury. Maybe we'll come back to it a little bit later. But yeah, so hopefully Jalen Brunson is better. Now, DLO, there is a new All-Star format that was announced this week. And this was, I believe, the Rising Stars game a few years ago. But now it's changed. So they're sticking with the tournament format, but they're changing it to a USA and World sort of thing. So what they're going to have is, and I don't know specifically, but on a base, very simple way to put it, it is going to be 2 US teams and 1 world team. And they're going to play tournament style basketball, one win or whatever the case is. But let me find the actual let's see. NBA, because D'Lo, I don't want to sound dumb. I mean, more than I already do usually. But here we go. So 2026 NBA All-Star Game format. So like I said, there's gonna be 3 teams, 2 US teams, 1 world team. The games they're gonna be 4 games played, 12 minutes each. Each game will be 12 minutes, and it's gonna be round robin style tournament play. So each team plays the other 2. So they're all gonna play each other. And the championship will be the top 2 from the round robin will meet in that 4th game. And the winner of that game wins the whole thing, of course. And then the All-Stars will be 24 total All-Stars and 12 from each conference. The more important thing being noted is selected without regard to position. So there doesn't have to be a certain amount of bigs. There doesn't have to be a certain amount of guards. 12 All-Stars from each conference. What is your reaction to this? Do you think it's going to improve the play in the All-Star game? Do you think it's going to improve the competition? Do you think it's going to make anything better? Just going to, you know what? Maybe I'll just ask this, D'Lo. Do you think it's going to make it watchable?
No, it's not, unfortunately. I think the thing that really bothers me is that they're doing this US versus the world, because majority of the top players are not from the US. They're not. If you look at it, Shea's from Canada, Luka, Wemby, Jokic.
That world team, that starting five. Oh my God.
Like there's just too many good player. Giannis. Oh my Lord, how did I forget Giannis?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be fun to watch for me personally. I don't think so. All of the good players are gonna be on one team. Like,
I don't know,
and
DLO.
the thing is that
there's some good Americans.
the I'm trying to even think. Like the highest is what, Ant? Is it Ant?
Oh God, have we gotten to that point where Anthony
We're
Edwards is the best American player in the
we're
in the
we're at
NBA?
like 6 or 7. JT is out. That's who it would be if he wasn't, but
KD,
oh, KD. But yeah,
LeBron.
other than that, I mean, obviously LeBron will be there because of name value, but
Yeah,
is LeBron really better than Ant right now? I don't
I don't think
I don't
so.
think so. I don't.
No, man,
Yeah,
that's
so
tough.
obviously you have Steph and you have the big name guys, but they're all aged. They're not, the same players that they were. And you have all of the European players and foreign players hitting their prime. They're gonna run them out of the gym. It's gonna, and to me, the thing is that it's not gonna fix competitiveness because the All-Star game is still in the middle of the season. I promise you, this isn't like years past where guys are, not concerned about health. Health is a really major like factor in the NBA right now, especially with load management. We've talked about it. If guys are willing to load manage during the normal season, you can 100% guarantee that they are not going to give it 100% for an all-star game that does not matter to them. They just won't do it. So
Yeah,
as long as all-star weekend is still in the middle of the NBA season, it's not going to function how they want it to. And that's just how it is now. I don't think there's anything that they could do to fix all-star weekend other than one-on-one. One-on-one would fix it, but they
they,
won't do it.
they they need to find some way to make that happen.
They won't
They
do
need to
it.
find some way to make that happen. D'Lo, as much as I would like to say it would make it watchable again, I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but I will say that I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because of how good the world team has become. So obviously you have your SGAs and your Jokic's and your Wembys and your Giannis's, but it's not like, I mean, the Americans have now how you're gonna make two teams that are both competitive. That is going to be beyond me. Maybe I'll be corrected. I don't know how you're gonna make two teams that are both equally equivalent to the world team. But I mean, there's some guys still, man. Obviously, you mentioned Steph, AE, Jalen Brunson, assuming he's healthy by then. Obviously, we don't know what the injury so far. KD, Donovan Mitchell, Kate Cunningham, like Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, Paulo Banchero. Like, there's still some guys. I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with the world team. And again, if you're going to find, because if you're splitting up two teams of American-born players, I don't know if either one of those teams are going to be good enough to compete with the world team. That is what worries me the most. And again, I'm intrigued because maybe because of that, the American guys will be more motivated to go out and beat the world team because they think, oh, we're amazing, we're this, we're that. Maybe it's something to, draw people in, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm intrigued by it. I'll be honest. I am intrigued by it. I don't know if it'll work though. I don't know if it'll work. All right, D'Lo. Let's end the show on something fun, because I saw this and I was like, oh, I have to ask David Largo this. We're gonna end on a football topic, okay? And I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this and I said, usually I send things like this to the group chat, but I wanted to save this specifically for the pod. The question is this, D'Lo. I'm gonna tell you, you can keep 2 of these guys, but you have to cut 1. These 3 guys, Tom Brady, okay, the GOAT. Peyton Manning, right? And, a lot of people lie, is the second GOAT, second greatest player of all time, top 3, top 5. And Patrick Mahomes. You can keep 2, but you have to cut 1. You don't look very stressed, so it sounds like you have an answer already. So I'm going to shut up and let you answer this.
Yeah, this one for me is, I'm not going to say easy, but I feel like it's pretty solidified that Patrick Mahomes has already certified himself as an all-time great, as much as I hate to say it because it's going to stroke your ego very hard. Um, I think he's already solidified himself in that upper echelon. Um, And so for me, obviously Brady's the GOAT. I think Pat is already right behind him. For me, this is a cut of it really pains. It really pains me. But yeah, we're cutting Peyton.
Sorry, say it again. Didn't hear you that time.
I'm not saying it again.
It's a wonderful world we live in, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, sure. You gonna move on?
Sorry.
About to leave. About to get out of here.
Sorry. That's absolutely the right answer, D'Lo. And I have to get Tone and Kyson's and Kevin's thoughts on this, but I'm with you. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is one of my favorite players of any sport in the history of my sports watching career. Patrick Mahomes is one of my favorite players, and he is the one that I'd keep. And Peyton Manning would have to go. Patrick Mahomes, for what he's been able to do and some of the accolades that he's achieved within such a short span of his career. He's already surpassed Peyton Manning in Super Bowls. He has a 15,500 season. He has multiple MVPs. Now, obviously, Peyton has 5, but he has the MVPs. He has 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He has won a bunch of games in his career. He's played 7 years in the NFL. He started 7 years in the NFL, and all 7 he has at least made it to the AFC Championship. I know a team that hasn't done that in 35 years. So for him to be able to do that is insane. So not only the individual player that he is, but the team and the leadership and what he's able to do for his team and how his ability to win, it's fantastic, D'Lo. Honestly, it's so inspiring if you ask me. When I look at that guy, I said, wow, who wouldn't want to be like Patrick Mahomes? You know what I mean? And I know you look at him like that too. So we're in the same boat, but I mean, that's just
Don't. Really don't.
no.
No.
Couldn't
I'm
have
not one of
told him.
those guys that look up to like professional athletes. That's just
No,
not me. Nah.
I,
I look up
I
to like real life heroes. For
that's
me
that's fair.
personally.
See, that's fair because, and this is now maybe we can save this for our new show coming up here in a few weeks, and so we'll save that announcement. But that's actually one of the things I've been wanting to talk about is like in terms of heroes. I've looked up to one. Now, my hero is and I've told everybody this, and I have no problem telling anybody and everybody this. My hero is my father, and that will never change.
Yeah,
That
shout
will
out to
never
keeping
change.
that for the other show, but yeah, let's just spill it here.
Yes, I'm sorry. I listen. My dad is my favorite person in this world, and he's my hero. He's the guy. He's the man I've always looked up to. He's the man. If I am half the man that my father is, half the father that my father is, I'll be a very happy person. I'll be a very happy man. But the only guy that's even come close, remotely close to my dad is Larry Fitzgerald in the way that he's carried himself. And that's why he's my favorite athlete of all time. Obviously, he was a great receiver, great football player, but the way that he treats people, the way that he carries himself, that is one of the men in this world that I looked up to growing up. It's like I want to be like him. People respect him not because of what he's done on the football field and how much money he's made and how much he's done all this, but because of the man that he is. When you talk to people who've had a relationship, any sort of relationship with Larry Fitzgerald, he said that is a good man. He treated me with respect. And so that's now, again, not to get too far into that conversation. Not I guess any further than we already have, but yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that. So, but yeah, DLO, is that any follow-ups or
No.
Oh.
No, we'll save it for the other show.
For the other show. Be on the lookout for that announcement too. Very excited about that show. Very, very excited about that show. It's where my stupidity will really be able to show itself.
Or our stupidity.
Are you calling? I didn't. Now again, stupidity. I didn't want to put you in that group. You know, I know you're an intelligent dude. Now,
Very intelligent.
Yeah. So I didn't want to put that stupidity label on you as well. I can definitely put it on me. The shoe fits.
Yeah, but like these are going to be some generalized topics, and I feel like when you talk generalized, stupidity is everywhere.
Fair enough. See, teamwork. Teamwork makes the.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's a great start to that. Anyways, that is good.
That was the only one you had?
That was the only one.
Oh, I thought you had more. I thought you had like a little list going on.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that the suspense for that you made so suspenseful. So yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Well, here I'll give you one right now. Here we go.
All right, let me hear one.
Keep 2 at 1. Gary, Alvin, and Larry.
Oh,
let's do it.
You think it's supposed to be tough or?
Yes.
Oh no, that's not tough for me at all.
Here we go. Don't be biased now.
Keeping Jerry Rice, keeping Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm cutting Calvin Johnson.
All right, yeah, let's get us out of here, Mo.
Oh, I'll debate with anybody. Because you see what Matthew Stafford is doing right now. You see what Matthew Stafford is doing, and you see what Matthew Stafford has done in his entire career. And and obviously Joe Montana is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. What greatest quarterback of all time did Larry Fitzgerald play with?
Get us out of here.
Who's number 2 in receiving? Who's number 2 in receiving yards all time?
Get us out of here.
Who has more tackles than he has drops?
Thank you for coming to this week's episode of Gumball Sports Machine.
Don't do that. Calvin Johnson is nice. He ain't Fitz. Don't do that, D-Lo. Don't do that.
He's not Fitz. He's better than Fitz. Anyway,
you are off some heavy drugs.
Not really. Not really off of them. Pretty sober. Pretty sober.
Could have fooled me.
Yep. Sure could have.
Okay, Calvin Johnson or T.O.? Calvin Johnson or Randy Moss?
Alvin.
Who's the second greatest receiver of all time?
Alvin. Megatron.
I guess it is time to close out the show, isn't it, D-Lo?
Yeah, it sure is. Sure is.
Okay, we need to have that conversation.
We can argue about it for way too long that we don't have.
That will be a topic very soon discussed on this show. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. I know I just said that. I tried to think of something else to say. I couldn't think of anything. DLO, shout out to my co-host. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to David DLO, aka co-host DLO, David Largo. Appreciate you, my brother. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. I know DLO is going to tell you here again in a few seconds or so. But as always, I want you to know, if anybody else is going to tell you, you matter. I love you, and you have people around you that love you. And again, I'm just going to tell you again because I love telling you, I love you. You matter, you have purpose, and you woke up this morning and you have value. You just have to go find it. You just have to go find your purpose. And again, it just takes a little bit of effort, But once again, I love you. You matter. Please tell the people you love. Tell them you love them. More importantly, it is always nice to be important, but it is much, much more important to be nice. DLO, we're out of here. Do you have anything to say to the people before we hit that close?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, well, thank you, brother. And Fitz is way better than Calvin Johnson.
Gotta find my way to